Broadcasting from the most confused, dumb, manipulated, brainwashed, and infected nation on the face of the planet with the news they hope you never hear. This is the Power Hour. Hour number 3 of today's daily exercise of thinking outside of the corporate cage is now in session. Handing out the brain brushes, stick them in your ears, scrub vigorously, and remove all those years of built-up propaganda.
Our guest today, Sophia Smallstorm. She is incredibly gifted. She is an independent thinker. She has connected the dots from chemtrails, which is, by the way, if you haven't gathered, the delivery system, to Morgellons, which is the wiring system, to the control of human consciousness, polymer triggers. Sophia explains today how we currently are in the setup or the hardware stage, the extension of eugenics where technology will override our biosystems with the ultimate goal of the entire biological world being eradicated, to be replaced with nanotechnology and controlled pseudo-life forms. It's a little bit hard when you hear this information to put it all together, but she does such a great job in being able to explain it. And we're now talking about this hardwiring system of the nanotechnology fibers. Go ahead, Sophia.
We are seeing the presence of fibers. They are in the air when you do your environmental sampling, and they are showing up in people's blood and hair and skin, whether they're Morgellon patients or not. So now the question is, what are these fibers all about? When you observe the fibers, they actually form colonies. They will form a little like hub, and then they'll spin a filament to the next hub that they form. So they're communicating with each other. They're interconnecting. And there is a page on my website called A Researcher's Story, aboutthesky.com, A Researcher's Story. And this man from Arizona has replicated a lot of Clifford Carnicom's experiments and has shown that he sees the appearance of all these different polymer, we could call them organisms, although they're not organic, they're inorganic things. And he named one Fred. Fred had a special shape under his microscope, a distinctive shape. And then when he put Fred with another colony of other polymer specimens, he found that they moved out of the way to accommodate Fred. So they are communicating with each other.
Okay, that is, help me understand that. Let's go over that again, if you don't mind.
It appears that these, I will just call them polymers, that form into colonies, that acknowledge each other's presence when you introduce two different strains of them. They actually are working in some kind of harmonic organization. What's happening is these polymers are self-assembling, self-replicating, as Dave sang about in his song. They're colonizing within us. They're forming a network. I could call this an alternate neuronal network. And let me, first of all, let's just address the question of how are they able to do this. The researcher featured in A Researcher's Story, who goes by the name Blue, B-L-U-E, that's his moniker, he theorizes, and he's probably right, this is an absolutely brilliant guy who really knows how to think out of the box. And we've got to get out of the box here, because the box is convention, the box is the matrix that we all live in, and it ain't what we think it is. It's bigger, okay? So, Blue theorizes that these polymers, these nanobots, as they're called, they're like little robots made of plastic. They are making use of plastic that's all around us. We are bathed in plastic residues. Exfoliated, degraded, little plastic things are everywhere in the air. We're breathing plastic. It's in our drinking water. After all, we have plastic bottles, plastic bags. Everything in the world is made of polymers, right? So there are tons of ambient plastic that these little nanobots are able to synthesize. And how do they get the energy? The energy is also abundant. We have direct DC current all around us, the microwaves, Wi-Fi. There's so much current in the air. Now remember, the aluminum is ionized. The very air we live in is ionized now. It's charged. It's a plasma. It's no longer neutral. One job of the chemtrails is to spray these metallic salts, this other class of elements, that ionize in sunlight. So the air we live in, which was supposed to, the way nature intended, be neutral and life-supporting, is now a charged gas. So if the air is conductive that we're living in, then we're conductive. We, too, have the conductivity inside us. So these polymer colonies are assembling and replicating and forming a network of fibers in our bodies. The question is, what is this all about? What is it for? So I put on my thinking cap and I said, let's make an analogy. What if each human being is represented by, in our metaphor, a field of light? And you see this field of lights, and there are red lights, green lights, yellow lights, blue lights, purple lights, pink lights, and all the different colors represent the different regulatory systems that we have. Let's say the red and orange lights are our circulatory system. Yellow and pink lights are our digestive system. The green and blue lights are our respiratory system. The purple lights are neurology, okay? So we've got all these systems represented by all these different lights, and the lights are going on and off in their harmonies and their unities, supporting each other, and that represents, in the metaphor that I'm creating, the human being. Now, the mad scientist comes up, he looks at the field of lights, and he says, I want to be the one who turns those lights on and off, and I want to put them in the color formations that I want to. So what if I hooked up a circuit board in that field, and I hooked every single light to my circuit board, and then I threw the switch, and then I could run the yellow lights with the green lights, and the purple lights with the pink lights, and the blue. Okay, so the fibers that are showing up are like the circuitry feeding itself in our body.